Hello, my name is Keith, although that wasn't always my name. I've been through quite a few name changes, some legal and some not. In fact, the name I was given the day I was born was only my name for about 3 days. That name was Baby Girl, which was a temporary placeholder because my parents didn't have a name ready for me. The doctors had kept telling my parents that I was going to be a boy. They were right, but not in a way that was expected. Regardless, I was born female, and the only name they had prepared was Timothy. I'm half glad that I wasn't born male because I hate that name. It was later given to my younger brother. Eventually, my parents thought of the name and got it changed, Callista. That was my name for a week because apparently they had misspelled it for the pronunciation they wanted. They then had to change it again, this time to Callista, as they had wanted it before. That name stuck for years, far longer than the first two. Even from the start, it seems like my identity was pretty hectic. As a child, I loved girly things and wearing skirts and dresses, yet I acted like a total tomboy. I played in the mud and got all my nice girly clothes messy. I collected rocks and picked up bugs. I wanted to play with my brother's toys more than my own. But that's a normal thing for children of any to do, so it wasn't that big of a deal at the time. The first instance that I can remember of something abnormal was one day in elementary school. They would often make us line up boy, girl, boy, girl. Our class had more girls than boys, so the end of the line would have about 4 or 5 girls in a row. I was put at the end of the line between 2 girls, with the boy standing in front of the girl that was in front of me. Even my 7-year-old mind could comprehend that I was in the boy spot. A boy was supposed to stand where I was standing. Most girls wouldn't even think that, or maybe be upset by the idea. But for some reason, I was so happy and thought, I'm the boy. I didn't think much of that instance, but then again, I was so young and so clueless about what it could have meant. I didn't think much of any part of how I thought and behaved. I had more boys as friends than girls, and I spent more time with my dad and taking interest in the things he liked. And yeah, this is still something normal for children to experience regardless of gender. It wasn't until I hit my teenage years that I realized that something was wrong, and that all of these small things that seemed perfectly normal at the time had added up to something more. As a teenager, you learn there's clear difference between girls and boys. I understood that very well, but it all felt wrong. My body didn't feel like mine, and I hated every inch of it. I didn't feel insecure about my appearance or anything, but it just didn't feel right. It didn't belong to me. I started feeling uncomfortable being around girls and being lumped in with them. I started feeling terrible when I was referred to as one. Something was seriously wrong. This wasn't normal. I did research and found a single word that explained everything that I was feeling. Transgender. It made sense. After learning that word, I went by a different name, only to my closest friends. To them, I was Kevin. I was me for once. It was also around that time that I learned the hatred and discrimination towards people like me. It hurt. I had finally figured myself out, only to also find out that people wanted me dead just for existing. People wanted there to be laws against me being able to be comfortable. People wanted to make my identity a political issue. It was awful and caused me to keep a secret from most people. And as some people know, hiding your true self can be devastating and has a terrible toll on your overall happiness. Luckily, attending Embry-Riddle has restored my happiness. I was able to start over with a better life and a new name. Through the Diversity Center and Pride Network, I met others like me. 2 other trans guys just in the first month of being here. Keith. That's what I introduced myself as to them, and they didn't question it. They accepted it and offered their support. Finally, I was able to be my true self without having to hide it. Their support has taught me to not care about the opinions of people who were against me. Their support even gave me the courage to go by Keith in my classes, as well as come out to my family. I no longer have to be uncomfortable. I am me, no matter what anyone says. My name is Keith, and that's what it always will be from now on.